Hello, welcome to another video. My name is Asha LeCount. I am an emotional intelligence and energetic expert, and I work with executives, high achievers, and people like you who perhaps are on a sales team and you're looking to increase your performance. And this is not going to be about pushing. This is about your emotional intelligence and your presence as a man, as a high-powered woman. It's all about presence when we get to these higher levels and this luxury level that you are leading. So my name is Asha. I have been working in the luxury space in restaurants as well as private clubs and working with sales teams and executives for over 20 years in international consulting. And now, for the last 10 years, I've been teaching emotional intelligence. And for the last 5 years, I have been teaching beyond EQ, which is even beyond emotional intelligence because we can all agree that awareness isn't enough. It's about understanding what's going on and then going through it so that you hold the wisdom. When you do that, you're going to exponentially build momentum faster. This is how I've been able to lose so much weight. This is how I continue to feel younger and more vibrant every day, and also go through my own ups and downs with money and my own issues that I have had in my life while still showing up confident, even though life has knocked me around. And maybe you can relate to that. Okay. So, high performers like us, we have to go through a lot of stuff because we're designed to go against the grain when shit's hitting the fan. All right. So your job is to stay stable. And then that's also, as a leader, your job to implement in your team. So let's get into three emotional intelligence leaks. These are EQ leaks that are affecting your sales team and your bottom line as an executive. So this is going to be about, I'm going to say about a 10-minute video. And I want you to realize that EQ leaks are little pieces of energy that take you out of the present moment. So this can be like anxiety, burnout, feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you have to hustle, feeling jealousy or people pleasing, or going into work with a heartbreak, or wishing you were doing something and you're not doing it. These are considered emotional intelligence leaks. And today in this video, I'm going to identify three that are most 100% certainly costing you. Okay. So if you are not sailing emotional intelligence leaks, you are by default losing money. If you don't take anything else away from this video, that's the thing. All right. So let's go ahead and give you three things, and you can feel free to write these down as well. Number one, reactivity masquerading as urgency. Oof. So we all sort of know that busy high achiever, but are they productive? The deals, clients, internal pressures, these trigger these fast reactions, perhaps chasing, over explaining, discounting, or pushing too hard. So this can really hurt our sales performance. Luxury clients, they feel pressure and then they pull back. I've seen this in my own work. Trust me, my God. Like, they call it like commission's breath, right? Like, come to me, show blah, 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 right? The inauthenticity screams and the connection gets lost. So then negotiations lose leverage, and agents, they talk more than they listen. And I've also been I've been that person, just, verbal diarrhea. And I was on the phone with a woman the other day, and she'd asked me one question, and she was the service provider. And, I instantly was like, oh, wow, have you ever worked on your emotional intelligence before? And so what we want is calm, presence. Now, you yourself may have already overcome a lot of this. Let's say you've overcome this in your career, but I'm going to ask you, how's this showing up in your personal life? So we want to be looking at that, right? Same with food habits, alcohol habits, flipping out in traffic, yelling at our kids. These are all these reactivities. Yeah. So a lot of leadership developments like, yeah, do that with the client. Well, at Beyond EQ, we say, let's go a little bit deeper. Yeah. And then I teach you, when you have me come into your organization or have me do a Zoom call with your team, I teach you the fundamentals of how we get to the root of this problem fast without overwhelming you or making it so obtrusive. But we got to go there. If you came to be at the top, this is what leadership is requiring. So you want to train your team to pause, regulate their emotions, and respond intentionally. This means that, urgency isn't going to erode the trust that you've built, especially in these high ticket conversations, right? And we want to stop that. And you, in your newer agents and your newer executives and your younger leaders, these are people that need to understand how this works. Again, not just from the perspective of work, but also from the perspective of personal life. That's what a real leader is. So the second leak, first leak again, just to remind you, is reactivity, reactivity that is masquerading as urgency, right? Kind of that busy feeling or that like intense reaction. The second thing is unspoken friction inside the team. This can also be, lack of a better word, kind of shit talking, like people talking about one another. This EQ leak is when we avoid direct conversations and we swallow frustrations, or we go out and have drinks or casual chats with John at the bar, and you're venting and you're not addressing the energy cleanly. And or if you're addressing it with someone, they're having a massive emotional reaction and they're not seeing straight. That is a major issue. People always say to me, "Oh, Asha, our team is dealing with communication issues." And I'm like, "It's never communication. I want you to think about your relationships. It's never communication. It's you're on two different planes. You're in two different perspectives or two different heights of a ladder where you're not seeing eye to eye." This kills sales, guys. This kills and it really, really hurts deals. Misalignment between your agents and the leadership, slow handoffs, slow drop off details, dropped details. You know, it sometimes this festering can create a monstrosity of an issue that you can't see, but it's slowly beginning to leak into the team. Okay. But, if there's conflict within the team, sometimes I can take somebody out of the present moment and they're sending off, emails or deals or trying to connect with clients or trying to connect with buyers, and they're not there. They're not present in the moment because they've got hurt feelings. This matters, guys. So this is seriously affecting your bottom line. So how I help and what I do is I help teams name this friction. We neutralize it. We start to get to the root of what the hurt feeling is so that the performance doesn't drag. So everything doesn't have to be this big, huge meeting. Let me give you a tangible example here. I used to get really hurt feelings, like in particular with like male bosses. This was back in the day. I was like afraid of them. And it was my own value. It was my own self-worth. It was my own ability to have conversations with men as equals. And I would blame them and I would get upset about it. And I'd complain about it to other women. And, what I've learned was that was like all my own projections. But in that space of learning that, I learned very simple processes on how to help teams like you so that you don't have that. You want a team of like elite performers. I mean, at least I know that's what I associate myself with, and that's what I do to help people. You want people that are showing up to work in a very clean way when it comes to their emotional ability and capability and regulation. Took me a long time to get through that stuff, but now what I do is I shorten that for you so you don't have to deal with this for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay. Last thing, confidence. The third thing is your confidence, which drifts under market pressure. Okay. So if the market's moving around, the EQ leak is very simple. People blame it. They blame this outside thing. I always come back to relationships because it's so simple. If I'm having a problem in my relationship, it is far easier to blame a man than it is to take full responsibility for my own daily actions. I'm not saying that social impact isn't real and data isn't real from those particular fluctuations, but that's always going to happen. It's just like any growth. So you either double down and recommit, or and we have plenty of tangible proof that no matter what the market is, there are people being made into billionaires on the daily and having skyrocketing results and bonuses and sales, even if the market is under pressure. So what we do is I help you recalibrate this confidence inside, and there's no hype here. And guess what happens? It's like, oh, boom. Oh, I got this awesome idea. I think we should start a podcast. Or wouldn't it be cool if we did something really fun on Instagram? Or let me try this neighborhood to start sourcing new buyers and clients, etc. The new idea comes, and then the idea comes because the pressure is off the market, and your internal you're starting to deal with inner confidence in a way that you haven't seen before. So if you're not doing this, you're it hurts your sales. There's fewer bold asks, there's softer follow-ups, there's lost authority in client conversations because they've lost their confidence. And oh my God, did I deal with this? I'm a entrepreneur and a founder. So when I hit rock bottom, multiple times, it compromises your confidence. So if the market's like, whoochoo, whoochoo, and take a look around, guys, they're putting this stuff out everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, the news, my God, it's programming everybody to be in this state of fear. You got to have a team that's vibing above it, right? You're not going to be getting down into the playpen of fear. So, what we want to do is we want to implement strategy, actual strategy that builds inner confidence. Okay. And I promise you, it works. I got people all of us say, oh my gosh, you're so confident. Your energy is so fabulous. Yeah, because it's detachment. It's starting to understand that this is a process. So, quickly before we go, I am going to show you an example of what this looks like with one of my EQ tests where I tangibly measure emotional intelligence. So this particular client, she's a real estate agent, high level, and also had a recruitment company. When she came to me, she was drinking heavily. She was completely confused on her life. She actually could not like figure out what was going on inside of her marriage, and her weight was suffering, and her company was not doing that well. When we started working together, we started uncovering a lot of things. So these are the 26 areas of emotional intelligence. And this is her self-awareness. It was like fairly low. And then this here is her empathy. So she like something was off. Like she just wasn't feeling herself. And this is like her empathy inside and her empathy out to the people and her behavioral self-control, which means she was like probably in her head and snapping and a lot of bad behaviors, like heavy drinking. And, I think there was like, just kind of work hard, party hard vibes, right? Okay, we've all been there, done that, and maybe you're there now. And we got to the root of these issues and we did it in 16 weeks. This is 16 weeks of working with me. And then, of course, she had me come in and work with her team because the results were so good. She's down at least 20 to 30 pounds now. And she's also attracted a fiance who is in real estate as well, or he's in construction. She quit drinking. Her relationship with her daughter completely improved. She also got a six-figure investment in a job that she had, like within like 3 weeks of making these shifts. And I've seen this over and over and over again. And I have so many case studies monetizing these 20 to 30% lifts, and even beyond that, in some cases, 50%. But, let's start with 20 to 30. You are literally, like I said at the beginning of the video, losing money, not sealing emotional intelligence leaks. You need to ask yourself, who here is the better leader? Who's going to be the person that's more calm, more stable, more attractive, more confident? Somebody that you want on your team, somebody who works without complaining and feels good to the other employees. Yeah, this person isn't going to be talking schmackety do. This person might be. Of course, they're going to be in a victim. They're not seeing clearly. So I'm going to advise you now to go ahead and take the next step with me. My name is Asha LeCount. I'm designed to come and make you into a rock solid high achiever. That is my job in every area. And I'm a walking embodiment of my work, having lost, over 80 pounds myself and dealing with so much anxiety and burnout. And now I love to teach it and get you the results that you came to get in this lifetime because your legacy matters. Okay. So if you'd like to have me come in and train your team, go ahead and click on the link below and just send me an email. I'm also putting a link to my website as well as a link to a free video on the 5 emotional intelligence leaks that high level men deal with. And you go ahead and enjoy the little buffet of yummy little things. There's certainly ways that you can get in touch with me through my website as well as through DMing me on YouTube or LinkedIn. And I'll put my LinkedIn link below as well. Let's connect soon. Every day that you are not moving into EQ, you are throwing money out the window. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to chatting with you soon and teaching you so you can be the best leader that you came to be.